Hey everyone. So I have a interesting topic to talk about today. I want to talk about the easiest slash hardest thing about Coast Guard boot camp. And something that's maybe not talked about a lot was a lack of time. And by lack of time, I don't mean that there's not enough time to do everything because everything has a strict deadline to it. Not that that's not true. That is also the case. But what I mean specifically is that you don't really have a lot of time to dwell on your thoughts, to reflect, to think about how you're changing, how you're evolving, what's going on back home, that sort of thing. And I say that's the best and worst thing about boot camp. The reason why it's the best is because you really don't have time to worry about things. You are staying focused on what you're doing, and by being 100% focused on the moment, the evolution, being mindful of the present moment, I think that makes the time move by faster. And if nothing else, it keeps you from dwelling in a negative way on what you're going through. Now, the flip side to that, why it's also the worst part, is frankly, I remember it being really frustrating at times, the feeling of, can you just give me a minute? Because it really is a situation where you are being hampered by somebody pretty much all the time. So I remember getting frustrated. I would try to think back to home life. I would try to think about the future, like, oh, this will be over in 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 10 days, whatever. And just never really getting a chance to kind of meditate on that in a positive way without a CC coming up behind me and telling me to do something or redirecting my thoughts into a different mission. And that pretty much is the consistent reality for 8 weeks. So I think my only advice, if you're thinking about that kind of thing, is to practice being mindful, practice being present in the moment, and staying uber focused on what you're doing now. And by now, I mean before you go to Cape May, work on these skills. I think that it's incredibly beneficial, and I think that it is a good lesson for life. That's why I say it's the best and worst part of boot camp. Worst part just because of that frustration about, you get that feeling of like, can you just give me a minute? But best because I think it is an invaluable skill to be able to stay focused on the mission, to avoid dwelling in the negative thoughts, and to just stay mission centric. Something you can do to work on that before you go, obviously it's just practicing those skills, but I think a key thing is to get your affairs in order. So don't have something lingering when you go off to Cape May. Don't have a project, don't have some answer for somebody that you're waiting on, or a job offer that you're hoping you get, or to find out if you pass the test. Don't ask somebody to marry you and then go off to Cape May before they answer, things like that. Try to have all your affairs in order so that when you go to Cape May, you are 100% focused on getting through that. And for each step of the way, if you can maintain complete presence of mind and not dwell too much on how much you miss your husband or wife or kids or whoever, I think that you'll thrive and you'll get through it a lot faster than you realize, especially when you graduate. You're going to look back and be like, wow, that's over already. And that's a great feeling. So just wanted to kind of touch on that topic a little bit. It's something that I don't think gets talked about a lot, specifically that whole idea of just not being able to sit and think for a minute. So practice those skills now, and hope that if you are going to Cape May soon, that you do great. I know you will. And as always, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Try to reach out, and I'll try to support in any way I can. Take care.